Hello, and welcome to the second lesson. In this lesson, we will move from words to action. By the end of the lesson, we'll set up a programming environment and get acquainted with the basic code structure of any C++ program. So, the first thing we'll do together is to install a code writing program. Actually, you can use any program that you find convenient, as long as it supports the execution of the C++ language. There are many such programs available. The most popular ones currently are Microsoft Visual Studio, Clion, Eclipse, Visual Studio Code, and others. In this course, I will be using the Clion program. However, feel free to choose and install any other program, try something new, and change it if you wish. I want to mention that there is a paid version available online as well as a 30-day trial version. If you opt for the trial version, we'll install it, and I'll create a separate video on how to use it for free indefinitely. Now, let's go to the Clion website and click on the Get Free Trial button. After, click to download. After that, the program will be downloaded to our computer. After you complete the installation process, launch our program. Here, we can immediately see that we can create a new project. Click on the New Project button. Next, you can choose the name of our project. Enter any name. Let it be Hello World. You can also choose the language version. For now, let's leave it as it is. We may discuss this in more detail later. Click on Create. So, in the initial stages, we won't delve into the details of the interface too much. We can see that after creating the project, the program automatically generated some main file and added code to it. On the left panel, we see all the files in our project. Let's focus only on the main.cpp file for now. This is our main program file, where we will be writing our code. As we have noticed, the main file main.cpp has already been created by the program. Let's clear its content and write everything ourselves. In almost any C++ file, the first thing you should write is the inclusion of a directive. You can consider a directive as an additional library that you can connect to your file, providing you with a set of functions immediately accessible in that file. For example, in this main.cpp file, I want to write code that will display a message on the screen. To do this, I need to use a specific function, and to access this function, I need to include a particular directive. Let's do this together. To include a directive, you need to write a hash sign, followed by include. Inside angle brackets, specify the name of the module we are including. Currently, I'm interested in a library called IDE, which stands for Input and Output Stream. This directive allows us to either display information to the user or obtain information from the user. Essentially, we don't need to add anything else to this line. This is our first line of code where we specified the inclusion of a directive. In future lessons, we will include various directives for different purposes. Next, we need to define a function. A bit later in the course, we'll learn what a function is. For now, I'll tell you that we will create a function that will be the starting point of our program. In other words, any code written in this function will be executed when our project is launched. Let's not go into what we write for now. Just type in main in curly braces. Just write this for now. Also, at the bottom of this function, write return 0. We will discuss data returns a bit later. For now, just write all this code. Now we've created the main function, and you should understand that when the entire project is launched, the code inside this function will be executed. Let's write one line of code that will allow us to display a message in the console. To do this, we need to refer to a namespace called std. Std is the standard namespace. Then, from this namespace, we will choose a function. To choose a function from a namespace, use 2 colons and @. Now, with this entire construction, we can output a message to the screen. An important point is that if we hadn't included the IDE library, the program would already be highlighted in red. Now, for outputting information, we write 2 angle brackets and inside them, in double quotes, write any text we want to display on the screen. Here, let's write something like all is okay. Finally, don't forget to end this command with a semicolon. This tells us that at this stage, this command is complete, and there will be some other command following it. At first, you may have some confusion about why we put a semicolon in some places and not in others. But literally after a couple of days of writing code in C++, you will understand where to put a semicolon and where not to. Now let's run our program. To do this, click on the green triangle. We see that everything is fine, and we have written our first program. In the same manner, you can now write this command several times, and let's change the text. If you run this program now, you'll notice that the entire text is displayed on the screen, but two different lines appear in a single line. If you want to create a new line, let's write an invocation to the standard namespace, and we'll use another function called indl, which stands for inline. If you run something like this, you'll see that the program runs correctly, displaying the text in two separate lines. In this lesson, we will explore another important aspect right away, namely the topic of comments. Comments are essentially additional notes that you can write in any line of code, and these comments do not have any impact on the program's execution. They are solely for your use, either to provide hints about the code or to make it easy for someone else who might review your code in the future to understand what is written. To write a comment, you need to use two slashes and write some text, but keep in mind that it should be confined to a single line of code. Anything you write in a comment will not affect the program. The convenience of comments lies in the fact that you or any other programmer can quickly understand what is happening and make adjustments to the code. What we have written here is called a single-line comment, meaning it is a comment written only on one line. There are also multi-line comments. To write one, you need to use a slash and an asterisk, then write your comment, and close it with an asterisk and a slash. Now let's run the program again and make sure that it behaves the same as before. In this lesson, we covered a lot of different nuances together. Of course, it's challenging to remember all these details right away. The key takeaway for you now is to remember how comments are written and how text is displayed on the screen. All other nuances, such as functions, directive inclusions, quotation marks, and so on, will be further discussed throughout the course. At this moment, you don't need to know them yet. The main points are that we included a header to perform actions with the file, created the main function that serves as the starting point for the entire program, and wrote comments in the program for our understanding of what is happening in our project. And, of course, we simply displayed text on the screen. In the upcoming lessons, we will delve more deeply into the C++ language and explore its various concepts. For now, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you soon.